Hello, in this video I want to show you important tactical ideas in the openings for beginners. If you recently started chess or you're still below 1000, this video is definitely for you. I will unlock you these tactical ideas and you would be able to punish your opponents immediately after the game started. It's important for you to know these tactics. And let's start with the position. So here we have a typical moment when white wants to go queen takes f7, the kind of this kid's mate, when white's winning quickly. And for black, the best approach is definitely to play knight f6, to be able to protect on f7 and do the castle. But here in this example, black went on the wrong road. Knight goes to h6. That's a very big mistake. If you're a beginner, please never put the knight on the back rank, A line or H line. Go directly with your pieces closer to the center. It's very important. And by the way, we will make a higher and higher difficulty of examples, step one by one, and that's one the most easiest here in this video. So after knight h6, what whites can do is to do a double attack, d4. That's the winning point. The moment is that we are attacking both bishop and knight, and after bishop takes d4, we can take on h6, and g takes h4 is impossible because of queen f7 mate. If black will try to survive with a castle, okay, we even can go back with the bishop to protect the pawn on b2, and this position is absolutely winning for us because of the extra piece. So put the knight on the right place, and if the opponent wants to take on f7, take a look over that, because even in a classical way, like queen goes to h5, we still could be protected here, even with the queen f7, because that's protected, and the bishop is already out of an f8. If we are speaking about the other way, with knight goes to c6, queen h5, please don't play knight f6, right? Play g6. That is the best. And if queen saves that tension, then go knight f6, bishop g7 castle, and you will outplay this simple tactics. It's very simple. So let's go to the next one right now. That is the position I want to discuss with you. And what can we see? The white have pawn down. And basically, at the same time, we made already a castle and we are better in the development. Here the pin looks aggressively for us as a white. But that is the trick on that pin, definitely. So what can we do in this position? And we need to remember about the f7 point. That's a very, very attractive direction to attack in the opening, as f2 for white, for instance. So what can we do around this square? If we will do knight g5, trying to do bishop f7, then bishop takes d1 could appears. And the end of the line, we don't have even nothing. But if you will take this idea and bring it in the right move order, you will definitely find the solution. And the right move order is knight takes e5. That's the best move. What is the idea? After bishop takes d1, looks cool to take an extra queen. Bishop takes f7. Now the king should go to e7, that's the only one way, and bishop g5 with the checkmate immediately. So that's how white can win this game easily. Returning back, what would be if blacks can capture on e5 now? For sure, after queen takes bishop, we need to admit that, yeah, we have equal pawns on the board, but we are still better because of the better development. We can bring our rooks to the center, bishop to g5, but never forget about the tactics. It's very important. And please, if you're a beginner, solve more tactical puzzles. It will bring you to another level, 100%. And here we can use the typical idea of distraction, but bishop takes f7. Now the point is that the king is overloaded. He needs to take the bishop and he needs to protect the queen. After king f7, we can still take the queen on d8, and that's absolutely winning. If black try to advance the king, then bishop goes to g5. And after king f7, we will still capture the queen and win the game. And this tactical pattern reminds me the other variation of such idea. So, for example, in this position, black can, in the very beginning, play d6, let's imagine. Knight f3, bishop g4, knight c3, and some weird move like a6. And we can do the same point, knight takes e5. Remember that the pin is not so hard if the queen is here, right? It's not the king. We can move the piece. The worst point, we will waste it. And after bishop takes d1, we have check, king e7, and knight d5 with the mate. Amazing checkmate that is a very well-known pattern in chess game. Okay, let's move to the next example. In the next example, black decided to take on f3. Looks really strange to drop the bishop to the knight, but at the same moment it's losing immediately. Why? Here is the tension between the pieces. So we see that the queen looks to the king of the opponent. The only one piece that distracts from the attack directly is the knight on e4. So that's why after knight f6, that is basically a double check, the black king can't quit the mate, and that's a win. So never blunder this, because in the Caro-Kann after e4, c6, this trap is very famous. So d4, t5, for example, right, knight c3, takes. Black have some lines like bishop f5 here, but one of the most common moves is knight goes to d7, and sometimes white's automatically doing queen e2. The idea is to trap black, because the idea of move knight d7 is to play knight f6, and after the exchange be able to take with the knight without destroying their own pawn structure. But here after knight f6, the knight goes to d6 is the checkmate. Pretty same pattern, because here it's a pin. Using the pins is also important. So that's how you could also win. Let's go to the next one. The next one I want to start from the beginning. And I want to state one important rule for the beginner. Never ever move the f pawn, doesn't matter which color you are, before you do the castle. After d4, f5. Dutch defense, that's a famous opening, but that's not best for you as you're a beginner, and I will show you why. So after bishop g5, for instance, h6, bishop h4, in this game, black decided that after g5, bishop g3, f4, they are about to trap the bishop and win this game completely. But the punishment came hard. After e3, black can't take this bishop because of the queen h5 mate immediately. The diagonal is weak after the f and g pawn moved, and the king is weak as well. So black decided after e3 not to waste the chance to still trap the bishop and play h5. The idea that if white takes, black wanted to play h4 and still trap this bishop, and the rooks handled this h5 square out of the queen. But white made a tricky move bishop d3. The idea is pretty obvious, we want to go bishop g6 mate. And black decided to play rook h6 to protect against this. But that's not the move of the day. In this position, white has a tactics, typical one. Queen goes h5. The idea is to distract the rook with a queen sacrifice. And after rook takes h5, bishop g6 is the checkmate. Remember about the f pawn and don't do this in your own games. And we are switching to the next example now. This tactics would be more complicated but still important. And again it's around the f7 key square. As black blocked the way to the bishop, they can't protect the e6 square that also could be important in the chess game. And here white still has bishop takes f7. The idea after king f7, knight goes to g5. And what to do now for black? On king f6, queen f3 is just a checkmate in one. Returning back, if king goes to f8, we have knight e6 with a fork, and the queen is us. So on king a8, returning back, we still have knight e6, and basically the problem that the queen is trapped. So that's an amazing version of this trap by using f7 and e6 fields to win the game. It could happen in some other way. Let me show another way of this idea right now. So in this position, black also played knight to d7 and also blocked the bishop way like this. And we still have bishop f7, king takes f7, but in this position it looks knight a6 is impossible. King takes to e6 and that's it. We don't have this move. On queen h5, for example, black can even think about king g8. And if knight e6 now, we can use the advanced queen with knight f6 counterattack, and we want to take on e6. And it looks like, because of this variation as well, that we don't have a move. But remember that we need to count the variation till the all attacks and logical checks are over, at least for beginners. And knight goes to e6 works perfectly, and we are winning the queen, because on king takes a6, we have queen d5 check, king f8, queen f5 mate. Calculate till to the end. The old tactics in chess that you may have is 1, 2, 3, maximum 4 hours strict direction of the line that is pretty easy to calculate. Solve more puzzles to be capable to calculate. Okay, and let's go to the last one. The last one tactical idea, I want to start from the beginning to show you one strategical point. In this position, black decided to take on c3 by their own. Please respect your bishop. The bishop is better than the knight in the most cases, right? So after you drop the pair of bishops for your opponent, the mess can start. Because, for example, here black made a strange move h6, no development, creating the weaknesses. Why h6? I don't know. Bishop goes to e3, and white's taking the diagonal, the very important one. And the question is how you may castle if I'm already blocking the way, and both of my bishops are working perfectly here. So knight d7, another mistake. Queen e2, takes, knight f6, bishop d3. And black made a final mistake, bishop b6. And now the queen sacrifice is coming here. The problem is that the king of black is pressed, so we are attacking this points near to him, the squares. And as well, the h6 move is not a big pleasure. It makes some weaknesses around the king's position. And again, we are speaking about our key f7 and e6 squares. And so queen takes e6. Now on queen e7, I simply can do the mate in one. So f takes e6 looks forced, and bishop g6, that's the mate by the bishops. Amazing one. So remember those tactical ideas, because they will help you to win more games. And don't forget to write your comment below my video. Did you like it? Or what should I add for you, for beginners, to which questions you have? I want to make you play better chess. See you on my new videos. Thanks for watching.